we're equating just a little bit more gravity during sleep. This means your head is higher than your feet. And then doing this angle, we definitely make sure the lymph system can detox twice this fast than sleeping horizontal. Your lymphatic system, what is the drainage of your brain, can detox much better. And we also will lower the brain barrier to open up too much, to pump your brain full of blood. What happens in horizontal sleeping position ASAP, you're going to bed. Extremely beneficial.
Hello, Awaken Beauties. Finally, it's here. The truth to empower women to true inner beauty through a healthy mind and inner biology. I am your hostess, Cassandra Keel, a 20-year salon owner, organic beauty product formulator, positive mind management, and clinical hypnotherapist. And I am here to help you stay sane, get sleep, and bring your sexy back. Sponsored by evoquebeauty.com. evoquebeauty.com. Now, let's get to it. All right, ladies, if you're looking for healthy hair, beautiful skin, and a calm, quiet, clean, collected, powerful mind with superior CBD, go to evoquebeauty.com. That's evoquebeauty.com. And you'll receive 25% off your very first order with the code AWAKEN. Again, that's evoquebeauty.com. Use the code AWAKEN for 25% off your first order. Welcome to the Awaken Beauty Podcast. I am Cassandra, your organic beauty, positive mind management, and biofeedback practitioner. And today we've got a very, very precedented, important podcast. And so in the midst of the coronavirus, I think many are losing sleep in fear of what they'll wake up with tomorrow. So today, my guest and I are here to help you with how you can get true rest, that as we open up this deep, deep discussion on how to be better in bed. Everyone talks about sleep hacks, but we never really actually address the bed itself. So today, Claus Pummer from Samina Sleep System will literally uncover all the layers of the world's healthiest bed, I believe, that is in existence today. So the fact is, we sleep 4 months of the year, and sleep is often overlooked or an area where we often cut corners. After learning about Samina Sleep System and their organic and their safety principles and how they produce their bed with absolute quality, you'll see firsthand how beds are chemically polluted within the mattress, the pillows, and covers, and contain metals in the spring, just pulling in EMF toxicity and all the existing possible hidden health hazards that we are experiencing today that are hidden in our bed. So I want you to join us as we discuss what a bed should and should not have, from magnetic pads, why to incline your bed, and how 4.5 gallons of chemicals are hidden in a foam mattress. So today I want to welcome Claus to the Awaken Beauty podcast. Claus, thank you so much for joining us today in this unprecedented time. And there's no time other than to have you on the podcast. So thank you again.
No, thank you for having me. Very honored. And you actually hit the nail already. Sleep is now more important than ever. As we know, the pillar of health, nutrition, exercise, and I think the most important, sleep. Mm-hmm. For years and years and years, we kind of avoid the subject of sleeping. We think it's not necessary. We think we can do better stuff instead of sleeping. But I personally think, and my experience showed us now for the last 25 years, we pay sometimes a very high price to not pay attention on this matter.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I've heard quotes as much as 90% of our health depends on our sleep. And so what I want to kind of open up today is really talk about the quality of sleep. And I look at it as like three different pillars on sleep efficiency, sleep quality, and sleep quantity. And so, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of give everybody your bio. And so Claus is the president of the Natural by Design, a lifestyle furnishing company exclusively responsible for importing Samina healthy sleep products to North America. As a successful international entrepreneur, his early career as a master cabinet maker began following years of apprenticeship in Germany. Moving beyond the kitchen, he transitioned his craft to the master bedroom. His research to find the best mattress, both for his personal use and on the behalf of his clients, led him to Samina in Austria, and he eventually became a certified sleep advisor by Austrian Institute for Sleep Psychology. His work as a sleep coach has been featured in magazines, health, lifestyle podcasts, on blogs, and wellness sites beyond. Let's go ahead and jump into what's really hidden in our beds. And I thought maybe it would be a great idea to really start from the bottom up and really talk about, how we're trading out the toxic bed for Samina Healthy Sleep System.
No, absolutely. It's a very, very good question. So technically speaking, conventional beds in the United States have a combination between a foundation, a box spring, and a mattress layer on top. And underneath, you'll find most likely a very simple metal frame where the box spring sits on it. Those are the typical environments. We have a combination between inner springs and foam mattresses. And of course, the biggest question for us here at Samina is what are the contents of your mattress? When people purchase mattresses either online or you physically go to a retail store, and either solution definitely works with me. But I think what is very important during this time of researching and looking for a mattress, you have to understand as a consumer what is the contents of your mattress, and you have to really make sure you understand the wording and their meanings, and then you can make your own mind. Is this healthy, or maybe can this harm my human body during sleep? Astounding for us here is, as you said earlier in the intro, up to 4.5 gallons of petroleum, fire retardants, chemicals, other byproducts can be an average in mattresses. And even the naming and guidelines are follow North American standards. The question is, how good are those standards and who created those standards? Very often standards come from their own organizations, the mattress organizations, or the standards are guided by government guidelines. And the question is the authenticity, how good or how bad they are. So very often people struggle with this judgment. Second is metal springs, been invented many, many years ago, a very common product in beds. And 100 years ago, we hardly had any electricity or modern environment of Wi-Fi signals and cell phone signals. So metal springs did not seem to harm the human body. But in 2020, in a very modern environment, where your entire house is controlled by invisible frequencies, this becomes a very, very important subject. So what we really want to point out is when you spend time in research work to buy a mattress, you have to spend more time, and you cannot make this purchase in 5 minutes magically over the phone, online, or running to the next store and get it done. You have to spend more time and really, really ask very important questions.
Yeah, so let's talk about the very, very bottom part of the bed. So, I will leave in the show notes the image, but, the imagery of the bed is beautiful. It's wood, it's clean. It just resonates, just this beautiful, energetic, cleanliness.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Very, very important. Samina and founder and creator of Samina, Dr. Günther Ammann Jensen, is a psychologist, a medical doctor, and a professor. And the base for creating the sleep system actually 30 years ago was the human body. For him, this idea made a lot of sense. Then we can cover 1 or 2 layers of a human body and forget others, but then we don't have a perfect environment, especially sleeping environment. And as many people know, born and raised in Germany, standards are very high, expectations are very high. But also we are willing to spend more money for a better product when we know we're saving long-term money and funds, and we also accomplish better health and a better lifestyle. So with this 4-layer system, and the first layer of Samina is a double layer of wooden slats inserted between natural rubber. We're just imitating our spine, our skeleton. And this refers on the end of the day to so many people suffering from back pain in sleeping in the bed. And this becomes definitely a big issue when we're talking about partners and couples. Then when two people sleep in the same bed, we do not have the same body heights. We do not have the same body weights, and we don't have the same body shapes. So with the Samina foundation, the orthopedically slat system, divided in 2 pieces, the mattress actually can contours to each sleeper on each side and naturally to the natural S-shaped curve of the spine, and supporting your lower back and your shoulder instantly with wooden slats pushing tight against it. Let me make this as an example with my hand. This would be a natural S-shaped curve of your spine. And when, for example, one partner is 40, 50 pounds heavier, you would definitely compromise the entire mattress right now, American style, with creating a ditch in the middle in the bed, and the person with less body weight will have a compromised sleeping environment, as well the person who is too heavy from the beginning to reach this natural S-shaped curve.
So if I understand correctly, so if you have 2 individuals laying in the bed,
yeah,
you're not going to create this disharmonious weighted from the left to the right shift because of the double layer slats of the wood.
Yeah, exactly. So the 2 pieces are tied together in one bed frame, but again, they're not attached to each other. So each body movement can be not transmitted to another person, to another side. And the mattress really contours just to you. When we go to bed, in average, when you are a really good sleeper, you turn around 70 to 100 times per night, what would be a good sleeping movement. But very often people turn and toss much, much more. For various reasons, bad sleep, lack of sleep, stressed out, eating too late food, too much alcohol, cigarette use, all kinds of objects. And when the body movement is maybe 2, 3, 4, 500 times per night time in conventional beds, this definitely takes a toll. With the wooden slats of Samina and the active support underneath, we actually help the human body to stay in one sleeping position much longer, while sleeping on your back, on your side, just feels comfortable. And we have about 26 verbal discs. And in the moment you pinch the disc together, the nerve sends a signal to the brain, what will then automatically encourage you to turn to the left, to the right side, or to your stomach. Right. And with this proper sleeping position through a Samina orthopedically layer, we can give the spine this perfect position and stop this twinching of the nerves, what will lead to a better sleeping position.
All right, ladies, if you're looking for healthy hair, beautiful skin, and a calm, quiet, clean, collected, powerful mind with superior CBD, go to evoquebeauty.com. That's EVOQbeauty.com. And you'll receive 25% off your very first order with the code AWAKEN. Again, that's EVOQbeauty.com. Use the code AWAKEN for 25% off your first order.
Yeah, and I did know that. I read somewhere, it's when you're sleeping at night and you are pinching, like I'm a hairstylist, so I'm also, I'm a contortionist, and if I sleep wrong, I absolutely wake up with a migraine easily because my body is so contorted all through the day. So I've read that 70% of blood flow in the capillaries is responsible for cellular regeneration, for nutrient uptake, and also to detoxify the body. So when you're thinking about the spine, it's the portal to the rest of the body. You're really cutting off an essential part of the health to the rest of the body, let alone just, the natural shaping and making sure that you're sleeping comfortably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely right. And then, of course, in regarding, as you mentioned, migraine and the detoxifying process of your lymph and lymphatic system, we at Samina and actually myself in-house with my profession to be a master cabinet maker, we designed an inclined bed frame. This is the used way to sleep. It's not really used to us. We already recommending inclined sleep for the last 10 years, but the general public does not know much about it. Even we already know from space medicine around the world, they already understood this is an issue for the astronauts for the last 50 years. But between space medicine and the Earth medicine, there is a huge disconnect. A lot of things what space medicine knows are not getting shared with the conventional medicine on Earth. So, but we at Samina being aware of it, and with our inclined bed frame, what gives you the option to switch from horizontal sleep to 3 degrees and 5.5 degrees, we are creating just a little bit more gravity during sleep. This means your head is higher than your feet. And then doing this angle, we definitely make sure the lymph system can detox twice this fast than sleeping horizontal. Your lymphatic system, what is the drainage of your brain, can detox much better. And we also will lower the brain barrier to open up too much to pump your brain full of blood. What happens in horizontal sleeping position, ASAP, you're going to bed. So extremely beneficial. What we want to really accomplish, and Dr. Mikola and Dr. Klinghardt are big fans of this way to sleep. They understand for the patients who are suffering from Lyme, mold, and any other autoimmune disorders, this can be extremely helpful healing function.
I'm going to also add in there, Klaus. Now, someone that's in the health and beauty industry, we've been telling women to sleep like that for a long time, so that they're, it also does include, the facial and making sure that you're leaking the lymph out of the face, under eye.
Yep. Yeah, the puffiness in your eyes, very often a morning symptom from sleeping horizontal. Really good. The beauty, there is an inner beauty and there's an outer beauty, and both beauties are reinforced to a good sleeping environment and a good night's sleep. And you definitely can see it on the outer beauty when I have consultations in-house or when we travel to people. Very often I can see already when we open the door and meet a client the first time how sleep deprived they are, looking at them and see how their faces are looking. So it's definitely very easy to recognize. But before I forget, in regarding of the inclined option, it's not only we really can help the human body to detox better, we also save you approximately 3,000 heartbeats per night. But I think it's a very important component to know. Our heart has to work hard every second of our life. And when our heart does not beat anymore, then obviously this will be the last breath we have. And saving 3,000 heartbeats can substantially increase your lifespan, and you maybe age much longer than sleeping horizontal. And then, of course, not forgetting about the common sleep disorders like affect reflex, snoring, and sleep apnea. For all those 3 sleep disorders, the inclined can be extremely good function to use. Incline can be accomplished actually in most of the beds already at home without purchasing a new mattress. Of course, we at Samina, we're having a complete solution. I think sleeping inclined on a toxic mattress with full of metal springs will help you in some way, but you still not do the right thing. So, of course, we encourage people to do everything.
So,
but for
so you have the wood, and then let's talk a little bit about the rubber. So, I think one really, really important piece here, and something that we're really learning about, is obviously the EMF, and the toxicity that we are energy. Everything is a waveform of energy. And so we have those waveforms basically plugged into us, leaking our energy all through the night. So with the wood, obviously those are not metal coils.
Yeah.
And you have the rubber, and rubber's good to go.
Yeah, our rubber is organic rubber from the rubber tree out of Indonesia. We're using a process called the Talale rubber, and our 3-inch rubber is imitating our joints, tissue, and muscles, the second layer of the human body. And this is really important to make sure you not encourage any numbness during sleep, what automatically will make you wake up and rub your arms or leg. And also we want to make sure there's no pressure points during sleep. And pressure points can be uncomfortable, and extend turning and tossing would be a side effect from it. Our rubber is quite substantial thin in Europe. Samina's headquarters is in Austria. We're actually selling a 2-inch rubber. What is very common here for the United States, I decided to offer the 3-inch rubber as well to give you a little bit more cushioning, while we are kind of used here in North America to kind of mattresses who are very soft and on the more medium side. In Europe and going further to Asia, a lot of people actually sleep on very firm mattresses. So we have some flexibility in the thickness of the rubber.
Right.
So the rubber is important. Again, organic standards should be applied to it. There's many certifications in the United States, and they definitely have some value. So when you purchase, instead of a conventional bed, you find something with Go certified or any kind of the green standards, you definitely give yourself already a favor. It's quite important sometimes to understand where the product is manufactured. Anytime something is made in the United States, additional bylaws apply. And sometimes the state requires them to use flame retardants.
So when we first got on the phone, I thought that was really interesting. And that week I was doing another interview, Peter from Austria, and Germany and Austria are often pioneers in doing things that are right. And they're often pioneers in technology and products such as these. And so you are not hosting anything within the bed that is made in the US. You're not cutting corners. No. And because of the strict standards in Germany and maybe Austria as well, that you really do, fully support bringing these units in that are not, jeopardized by our kind of cheap protocols here in the US. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I decided against any manufacturing solution in the United States. Even this obviously will have some additional saving for clients, but the long-term side effects, I would think I'm outperforming it. I leave the manufacturing process strictly by Samina, 30 years experience making the same product, highly recognized in the German-speaking world, and under the guideline of the owner, who is a scientist and a professor and doctor. But I think it's very unique also for the audience to understand. I never met someone with medical titles who runs a mattress company, who stands so behind his product and really is looking out for the customer sleep once and for all. And with Samina, we have a saying, or a general saying in Europe, we're not rich enough to buy cheap. Then, as you know, anytime you make a compromise with buying some inexpensive products, you have to replace them. And in the meantime, you don't experience the comfort and the health benefits or any kind of benefits. And on the end of the day, after 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you spend the same money anyway from the beginning, but then you're wasted and lost all the time in the meantime. So I think is a very important feature. The bedding industry in North America is driven on low-end products and a lot of replacing. And I think one of the reasons we dealing with the world we're dealing right now, and let's say, global warming and all this stuff going on, this disposable society with buying and throwing stuff away creates a huge amount of problems on the long term for the planet and human society. And I think with Samina, we want to really stop doing this. We have actually a quite different problem. When you buy a Samina bed, what lasts for 20 years and some components forever, we cannot really sell you another bed, except you need to have a guest bedroom. You have other people living in your house, or you own a second home or a third home somewhere else. And otherwise, there is no replacement cost in the first 15 to 20 years whatsoever. You just keep the same mattress and take care and look after it.
I think that is one of the most important things, is that this is a one-time purchase. Now, if somebody moves, they're probably replacing their bed, I don't know, maybe every 5 to 8 years. And I think somebody at this point in their life and financially secure is probably going to be middle-aged or in their 30s or so. Yep. And you really have to think long-term. And with the body burden of toxic chemicals, when we're getting older, we also have to remember that hormones save us. And when we look at the toxicity and the body burden from the bed, with the cancer-causing chemicals that you're sleeping in anywhere from 6 to 8 hours at night, when you're sleeping, you're producing hormones. And this is off topic, Lindsay Berkson just put out some really heavy research yesterday, specifically to the coronavirus around melatonin. Mm-hmm. And how we can protect ourselves and our health. Now, we always think of it as a sleep hormone, but it actually helps to block these different messaging systems within the virus. And so we can produce our own melatonin. Obviously, as we get older, we lose the capability of producing melatonin. Compound that with chemicals. We can't make, when we sleep at night, we make insulin, we make we help with the cortisol system, testosterone. And so, really we're inhibiting our anti-aging, our youthifying hormones as we sleep when we're sleeping in this toxic sleep. And maybe you can add this piece onto it about the mites. And I don't remember how many pounds of mites, but this is absolutely disgusting. And if this doesn't shock people.
Yeah, the dust mites are my favorite creatures in the world. Yeah, unfortunately, in synthetic-based mattresses, under the consideration, the human body is losing a glass of water every night per person. This water has to go somewhere, so obviously it travels to the top layer, the sheet, to a mattress protection cover, to the inside of the mattress, and this is kind of the perfect heaven for the dust mites to live there. This is a second home for them. It's quite dark in there. It's much warmer than the room temperature, and the combination between your own moisture and when you live on the east or west coast, under consideration a lot of humidity in the air, and with not opening windows a lot in the summertime, while Florida is so humid from the beginning, and running air conditioned, you have a very high moisture contents in your bedroom as well. You even encourage more liquid and more moisture in your bed, and the combination of dead skin cells, what happens naturally of the cleaning process of the human body, gives those little dust mites creature a kind of lovely feast. Mm-hmm. So they drink your liquid, they eat your dead skin cells, and then they do exactly what humans do. They have to poop. And Dr. Klinghardt, I will never forget about this. When I met him 5 years ago, the first time, he was crazy enough to weigh mattresses before and after purchases. And his conclusion was up to 6-7 pounds of dust mite poop in mattresses in a year. So a substantial amount of more weight. So when people keep their mattresses for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you only can imagine how the inside looks. It's very hard to spot these creatures with your eyes. You cannot really see them. We're talking about microcobians, so very small particle. But you can see it very often when people make their own bedding and you remove protection covers with yellow stain marks on duvets, pillows, and actually mattress surface. This shows you already your mattress was not organic and you start sweating in it. And this is the biggest issue. When mattresses cannot breathe, the human body cannot breathe, and all this sweating will show up in these yellow stark stains.
So I'm just saying, all you women out there that are in menopause and hot flashing at night, not only are you feeding the mites so that they can poo right back all over you, but the chances are you're also sleeping in VOCs that also coordinate and get planted in human tissue.
For you, listeners of Awaken Beauty podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. Simply go to www.audibletrial.com/Awaken Beauty podcast. That's www.audibletrial.com, Awaken Beauty podcast.
I know, and now, of course, the question is how Samina can keep dust mites away. Yeah, the merino wool, what we're using from a kind called merino sheep. This merino wool is just hand-washed with natural soap, without any treatment of chemicals, is a very common treatment for the washing and cleaning process in most of the companies around the world. But with Samina, we decided to do this extra step. And the reason we decided to do so is we keep the contents of lalale, the fat of the wool, inside of this wool fiber, and dust mites hate the smell of the lalale, the fat of the wool. So the reason why Samina can be not infested of dust mites is the smell of the wool. The wool acts like a sponge and absorbs 70% of human moisture. And this moisture cannot stay in the fiber of merino wool while there's no halo opening in it. And this just travels through the two other layers from the Samina bed away to the bedroom environment, while we considered the Samina system is an open system. Nothing is enclosed in synthetic fabric. Everything is inside of organic fabric with a lot of breathability and with the proper airflow from a proper bed frame about 20 inches above the floor. We're really circulating the air in your bedroom all night long, and this keeps the moisture away. And with no moisture, the dust mites have no nourishment. A third, too much light exposure. Samina beds have much more light exposure from the daylight during the daytime than conventional beds, while we don't cover them with synthetic fabric. Each layer is separated. So you actually, when you purchase a Samina Sleep System, they come in 3 layers in 5 pieces. And this allows each product to get a lot of light. We do recommend, of course, to bring the wool topper outside as often as possible, either with opening the windows for half an hour. It doesn't matter summertime or wintertime, warm or cold, and air out the wool topper. Then our products, we call them, they are self-cleaning. Sunshine and fresh air are the best cleaning solution in the world compared to, the danger of using dry cleaners, and then they use chemicals again and put it in washing machine and in liquids. So Samina is kind of actually very easy to maintain as well.
That's wonderful. And, I think that's really interesting about the wool too, and how it helps coordinate with the temperature of the body. So in the winter, it helps keep the body warm, and in the summer, it helps cool down the body. And I know, specifically for sleeping at night, keeping, I think it's around 60 to 65 degrees for the body to keep the body cooled at night, optimal temperature. So that's also very nice that it has this self-regulating.
It's a very important component, especially when you consider each night starts off with a very hot body. So this means when you go ready to sleep between 9 and 11 o'clock, everybody's a little bit different circadian rhythm. Depends how your work life is and what, your oil or alk. Some people like to be up. They're more productive later in the day compared to early morning. So we do have a, 2-3 hours difference. However, when we all go to bed, we kind of more on the warmer side. And then it's very important in the first 45 minutes to cool down, and merino wool can give you this cooling effect. And then during the nighttime, with these different sleep cycles, we have those parts where we need more warmth, and merino wool absolutely will regenerate right away a certain amount of warmth to the human body. With Samina, we went even one more step further. Our organic cotton fabric is infused with a material called bioceramic, a huge amount of crystal and minerals. And the biggest component is amethyst. We do understand the positive side effect of a lot of crystal and minerals from Goddess Earth, and amethyst has a healing benefit. And with the huge amount of amethyst in our organic cotton, we really encourage this function of the human body to reach the proper sleeping temperature during the nighttime, and additional detoxifying properties. The idea came from the biomat, is a very common product. What we do recommend for daytime use, especially when people have joints issue and all other health-related issue. The biomat is a definitely good product, but we with Samina looked after this to use something during the nighttime with not creating additional electromagnetic fields or radio frequencies. We did it on the natural way in a very small doses for the entire time being of your sleep. And your sleep is anywhere between 6 and 8 hours per night.
Yeah, and so people really understand the research about grounding is that, we've really lost connection to the earth. And we are organisms that are meant to live within and on the earth. And we have totally cut ourselves off. And so the importance of the grounding, and you call it the Locusona, right?
Locusona, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Locusona grounding pad. The research around this is that it's a natural pain healing capabilities. It's great for antioxidants, anti-inflammatory, and it really helps reduce the free radicals as we sleep. Yep. And so, I look at the Locusona after looking at that, and then, some of the other modalities out there, as this is like the motherboard, the absolute, source of this. And it's not something like, it's not a cheap thing that you would just go buy on Amazon. Like, this is absolute science, how they've built this into the system, and how really important it is that if we can't get outside during the day, we're locked up during the day. If we can at least capture that 7 to 8 hours at night being grounded, that's incredible. That's when we regenerate. That's when our lymphatic system in our brain detoxes. It's when all of these, self-regulating systems turn over and give us life for that next morning. So to be grounded while we sleep is critically important.
Yeah, absolutely. So the grounding pad from Samina Locusana, the Latin name for earthing, is our fourth layer of the body, our bioelectrical system. And it's a very important component. As you said, in 2020, we bombarded with electromagnetic fields from the power lines in our bedroom and in our house. And of course, we bombarded anywhere between 2.4 gigahertz, what is the Wi-Fi frequencies from our Wi-Fi router, and anywhere between 4 and 5 gigahertz from our cell phones when we decided to keep our cell phones on during the nighttime, what we, of course, do not recommend, but it's not very common to disable these products either. We get so attached to it, and we think it's kind of very important. But there's too many studies now out there who really shows us the problem with those frequencies, that damaging you people's DNA, what can lead to birth effects. And Dr. Klinghardt and Dr. McCullough truly believe by 2025, our autism rate maybe can reach to every second child what will be born. And right now, statistics are already very grim. The autism rate is going up and up and up year by year by year. So we do have to ask the question, where is this coming from? Is this not only the environment impact from outdoor pollution? Is this nutrition or maybe vaccination? Or is this just a lack of sleep and the way how we sleep and what kind of devices we're using around sleep? I personally believe none of those electronics should be in the bedroom from the beginning, while you just make a clear decision. I'm going now to bed and I want to now recoup and recover from the day and want to be ready for the next morning. So you just turn off those devices is free advice, including unplugging a Wi-Fi router and maybe turning off the breaker in the bedroom for the power would be also advisable and doesn't cost you any money. However, we're still missing the function of grounding, while we cannot go to our neighbor and tell him to do the same. So a grounding pad from Samina acts as a conductor with about 70% of pure silver. We're highly conductive compared to the human body, what is very conductive as well, but with a better conductor under you, attached to the outlet, to the ground wiring, we can neutralize all these frequencies away from you. And there's two simple tests how you can actually figure this out. This works. One of them would be measuring your own body voltage, what you can with professional devices. When I do those measurements in the Los Angeles area where we currently reside, or when we do trade shows, or we're traveling around the country for home consultation, we measure anywhere between 500 and 10,000 millivolts. The German guideline is less than 100 millivolt on the human body. So there's a huge increase. And this automatically shows up in two medical related issues. One is cortisol levels are very high compared to your melatonin level. So your family doctor can definitely make a simple test like this. And under a dark field microscopy, where the doctor can withdraw some of your red blood cells and looks for the oxygenation, they will recognize the oxygenation is kind of disappearing from 3 billion blood cells. And with this missing oxygenation, you encourage the human body to create called human inflammation, what will be the start of chronic diseases and other health disorders. So there is definitely the medical evidence behind it. And one free to be grounded during the daytime would be take your shoes off and walk barefoot on the beach or on the grass in the backyard. We do recommend this, of course, in the summertime, in spring and fall. You do run, of course, in some trouble in the wintertime, freezing. And this will not work. So, of course, the grounding pad from Samina will give you this grounding, this barefoot effect all night long. And this is an investment with this product what will last the rest of your life. It will not expire, and there's no expiration date on it.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, I really think about layer by layer and, how you guys even hand wash the sheets and the amount of care and thoughtfulness that really go into your systems. And, maybe you can speak into how the Samina Health System, and if they haven't captured, for years haven't captured like how intricate it is by now. We have all of these other competitors in the US, so you have a bed, which is going to be, let's say it's a queen size bed. Your bed is not inexpensive. It is going to run you between $9,000 and $10,000. And where you can get online and you can kind of get all these fun and kitschy marketed beds right now that are organic. What are you getting out of the Samina Health Sleep System versus some of these other products that are on the market?
Yeah, I personally think with this investment, you have peace of mind of any kind of potential off-gassing of chemicals, petroleum and other byproducts, fire retardants. This is priceless. This is the same decision you make to go eat organic food when you go grocery shopping, or, anything what goes in your mouth, you will think about this, and you spend twice amount. Organic food roughly costs twice amount what non-organic food costs. Let's talk about all the organic juices and drinks you can buy. They're 4 or 5 times more expensive than others, pops and sodas. So it's a similar decision what you do with the bed purchase. So this is already knowing I have no toxin around me. I think it's priceless. The fact Samina is metal-free, including the bed frame, I think it's a very important component in modern lifestyle. Iron metal springs are attracting more frequencies. They're acting like antennas. And there is no difference between put your head in a microwave and turn your microwave on for 10 minutes and going to inner spring mattresses. And you will be surprised. There's a couple of brands out there in the luxury bedding market. They're based on metal springs, and those price ranges are anywhere from $15,000 to $45,000, all the way up to $100,000. Bed purchases. Those are the purchases what the average person can do? Absolutely not. I'm sure this kind of luxury brands are catering to a very small amount of people, let's say 1% of Americans, but this is still a chunk of people. And still, again, when the money, this is what I also think is important. Don't be shocked now to have not the money today to buy a bed. Then this is never too late to buy a good mattress in 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now. When you really want to have a better bed, you can, or say when you want something better in life, you can start saving for it. Maybe right now, with the coronavirus and losing our job and all this huge impact in our world, maybe it's not the right time to save additional funds. Maybe not right now, but when this is over, I think health becomes even more important to people. Then I think one of the reasons people got so sick right now is also with the limited resources on your own immune system and the body to fight diseases. And this has something to do with the lack of sleep and bad sleeping environment, not for 1 year, especially when we're looking in the age group between 60 and 80. You already spent 60 years of your life in bed, and this is all adding up. So I think the sleep is an important component. And again, you can start saving for purchasing a good product. When you save $200 a month, and in 5 years, you have enough money to buy a bed, and you don't have to think about it twice while you have a saving account where you have the funds to make this purchase. And then this is the last time you spend this kind of money for your bed for the rest of your life. And then you start only changing components.
All right, ladies, if you're looking for natural, organic, solution-based beauty and superior CBD, go to evoquebeauty.com. That's evoquebeauty.com and receive 25% off your very first order with the code AWAKEN. Again, that's evoquebeauty.com. Type in the code AWAKEN for 25% off your first order.
So I think, when you really understood the component of Samina with the 4 different layers, imitating all the importance of sleep, like orthopedically, in regarding of pressure points, the bioelectrical system and the temperature control, we are standing out in the crowd. We are definitely different than any other mattress company. And when people buy this bed and people you can check us out on our homepage, saminasleep.com, and see some of the reviews, what people left behind. They're fantastic.
Yeah, Claus, I'd like to actually share my screen. And I'm going to share this here. So I want to share the daily habits. So you can see on this form, okay, so you can see specifically down here at the end of 20 years, okay, so let's say you're 40 years old, that brings you to 60 and maybe 50. And like you said, you've already slept in a toxic bed this long. So let's go ahead and take 2 glasses of wine or beer a night. Get home, you're exhausted, you have your average 2 glasses of wine. That succumbs to $53,000 over 20 years.
Yep.
Compared to Samina, 14. Okay, look at your car investment, 189. Look at a latte. Okay, so we're looking at a latte to go at $4.50 a day. You're going to spend $34,000 over 20 years, where you could get that for $14,000 of health back with the Samina Health System. So I think it's really good and helpful to look at $10,000. Like if you put $300 aside every month, and you just paid that, going on, and you purchased it, and then you just paid it down. To me, looking at this framework is like, well, gosh, absolutely, it's worth it. And you'll sleep better, you'll feel better, and your health will improve every night by being on this system. So I just really wanted to share that, and I thought it was really, really important to share the financials, because we can get really, it can be scary when we're in a time like a financial decline like this, which we've never seen before. But this is where we should take our time to really slow down and look at, where am I investing? Because if we look at the market, it's spent on consumables. Americans spend their money on consumables. It's even how we spend our time. As an entrepreneur, I'm trying to focus and deliver to my audience and deliver to my customers versus consuming information. And so we really want to be active, and how can we take action today and really start to narrow down what's really important and where are those best investments best managed. Obviously, food is something we all need right now, but we are going to get past this. And I really wanted to have you on today because, everybody's losing sleep. And I suffer from sleep. I've had insomnia for years, and there's over 80 different sleep disorders, if not more by now, that people suffer from. 3 being the top, with, insomnia and lack of breathing and all the other issues. But, this is really important what you bring to the table. And people like Klinghardt, which is well respected, people like Mercola, JJ version, they're all starting to come behind you and saying that, just a biomat is just it's not cutting it anymore. We have to get really critical about how we treat our sleep health. And like I said at the beginning, there's tons of biohacks out there about, blue blocker lights. Yes, important. Drinking water during the day and not at night. Yes, important. Making sure that you have red light therapy at night versus blue. Yes, important. But what are you going to lay down on those 8 hours is critical. So I want to thank you for joining us today. And, we kind of went over all the layers of the bed. Is there anything else that really, like, you just really want to share about the Samina Health Sleep System for
No, I think you did a very good job here with me. You clearly understood my mission, and you really repeated my word very nicely, without the accent. What is nice?
Without the accent, yes.
Without the accent, so people maybe understand me better.
In the last 2 podcasts, I'm getting really, really good at being able to.
Yeah, so you really hit the nail again by the head right now. My sleep is a big deal. I think we kind of shy talking about sleep to others and family members, while it's kind of a secret thing. It just belongs to you, and people don't share it. But I think we should share this with our neighbors. You should ask your spouses, how do you sleep, honey, last night? Is there anything what is bothering you? You should talk to your kids. How did you sleep? You should ask them, did you have these dreams last night or not? When there's no one dreaming anymore, then we already know you have a compromised sleeping environment in regards of maybe too much electromagnetic fields. So there can be a lot of things done already, and you can find out with those simple questions. We at Samina, we offer everybody half an hour free consultation to talk to us specific with their sleep-related questions, specific to their own sleep environment and to their own body and sleep habits, to really make sure Samina could be a good solution for them as well. And we really want to show them, how important this purchase is. And I did not say it, but it's astounding. The most unpleasant shopping experience in this country is actually buying a mattress. The second unpleasant one is buying a car. When I heard this number the first time, I was kind of shocked. And then, we here with Samina, we want to really this buying a bed, we want to make this an experience, either in person. And again, 70% of our revenues are actually generated from people who never tried this bed here in Pasadena. We only have one retail operation right now in the United States, and we strictly think this is a good idea. We do not really need a retail environment. We like to spend more time with you over the phone, the YouTube videos. And even you make a purchase of a Samina bed, and this is maybe what I want to say on the end, you can tweak this product substantially. So even after purchase, you're not stuck with it. When you're telling us the bed is too firm, there are some things what you can do to make this bed softer on your side, not on the other side. When you're telling me the bed is too soft, you can make it firmer. So there's a lot of flexibility after purchase, and we really don't have to deal with returns here at Samina. Our returns are almost non-existing, maybe 1 or 2 a year in some rare cases, and otherwise no returns at all. So please feel free to reach out to us and check out our homepage, saminasleep.com, or give us a call at our toll-free number, 877-494-1091, or shoot us an email to info@saminasleep.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Now, one of the things that I always ask my guests at the end of a podcast, which I'm kind of laughing because I always ask, what have you personally awakened to as of late on the Awaken Beauty podcast? What have you personally awakened to? It doesn't have to do anything with sleep. In your life, on a personal level, what have you personally awakened to?
One very simple thing. Without health, life is nothing worth. You can have millions and millions of dollars in your bank or thousands of dollars in your bank account, but when you have no health, life is not worth one penny. And the older I'm getting, I'm 54 now, things are not 100% the same anymore as I was a teenager, and this becomes so often, shows up in my mind. The health is my most important gift, what I have. And right now I'm very healthy. I'm not aware of any major issue whatsoever. I don't take any medication, and I'm most likely enjoying my day. When I wake up in the morning, I feel refreshed. And again, I feel so bad for people who don't enjoy their health anymore and suffer all day with those things, what makes life so miserable and is very hard to overcome. So I think it's nice to be successful in life. It's nice to have something what called money, but I think we should take definitely more value on our health and take it a little bit more seriously how important health is to us.
That's awesome. Well, Claus, thank you so much for joining us on the Awaken Beauty podcast. And I'll make sure that everybody finds you at saminasleep.com. Mm-hmm. And I really want to thank you for your personalized experience. I know when I went to your website and contacted you, how you personally reached out and found me, and that's really missing in the world and in our experience in purchasing anymore. And so thank you for your one-on-one approach to treating those with respect on making this big decision in their life. And thank you all of you for joining us today, Claus Pummer with Samina Sleep System on the Awaken Beauty podcast. I'm Cassandra. Until next time, stay sane, get sleep, and bring your sexy back.
All right, ladies, if you're looking for natural, organic, solution-based beauty and superior CBD, go to evokebeauty.com. That's evoqbeauty.com and receive 25% off your very first order with the code AWAKEN. Again, that's evoqbeauty.com. Type in the code AWAKEN for 25% off your first order.
Well, hello, Awaken Beauty. Thank you so much for joining the show today. Were you inspired? Please leave a comment or your own personal aha moment so others can capture exactly what you did. Also, please like and subscribe wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And if you're interested in high quality natural products for your hair, skin, and wellness, including organic CBD, please visit evokebeauty.com. Again, that is evokebeauty.com, evoqbeauty.com. And until next time, darling, stay sane, get sleep, and bring your sexy back.